Well, hello everybody. Today we're going to present awesome circuits. Oh yes, the best application to build circuits. So, awesome circuits was a wonderful adventure, and it brought us to work with pure electrical physics. And the basis of the game are basically designing nice, simple DC circuits to practice at school or in your free times. So, as we moved on with the level design in our program, the first level we encountered was pretty simple. So, we started very simply for beginners. So, this level doesn't require a lot of practice. So, you can arrive and you can see that we designed that level very simply with 3 resistors and the battery. If we continue, the second level. When you move on levels in a game, you want them to be a little bit more complex and bring new items to your game. The second level introduces the capacitors. In this level, it's a little bit more complex. You can see there are more items, and when you're going to see the level being made, you're going to see that it's more difficult. You have to be careful what capacitor you're using, but in some it's pretty simple, and you can see a nice parallel circuit with many capacitors to make the final circuit. When you enter the third level, as you can see, we have a variation between resistors and capacitors in the circuit, so it's not always the same thing the player is doing. So it's good for the player, and everybody would like it. So you can see the third circuit. It's in fact it's a replica of a toaster. So every level are appliances, and level 3 is a toaster level. So it's also interesting for the player to see how appliances are built, and this is in fact a good toaster circuit. So you can build it and understand the wire resistance, and this one is still simple but a little bit more complicated than the first one that used resistors. So that's for level 3. Now we enter serious level design. So level 4 was a design with more complex circuit and a lot more capacitors. We come back to capacitors once more, and in this one you can see variation in the circuit. So the user will be able to use a 5 and a 15 capacitor, or use the 3.75 farads capacitor. That's good, because when the user is going to do the level again and again, he's going to be able to do a new circuit, and it's going to be better optimized if he uses the good parts. The final level, we come back with the resistor once more, because it's a simple DC circuit, so we can't be too complicated. But this simple DC circuit is kind of complex. There's a lot of components, and the player has to place them correctly, otherwise it won't be good. So he has to try. It's a level designed to take some time and be a good practice for a final exam of circuits. So as you can see, this one uses the same principle as with the capacitors. So you have the first one in series, and then you have some that you can combine together, and you will have some 5 instead of all those 2 points, 5, 1, and 1.5. You'll have those already put together to simplify your circuit if you see it. If you don't, you can also do it different ways. So there's always different ways to do a level in awesome circuits.
Okay, so now we'll do a little playthrough of these levels. So here's our game. We have a little music at the beginning. Some volume.
Music is excellent in awesome circuit. You'll see as soon as it launches.
Yeah, it has something to do with
perfect
the
soundtrack. We started. It has the perfect soundtrack to motivate the player to play, and it activates the circuit in his head.
Yeah, it's probably the Chromecast that is doing some funny things, but oh well. It's just a song in the menu, because we figured the song in the actual game would be getting annoying if you're looking at the same level for a long period of time and you have the same song over and over. So it's just in the menu. So as you can see, we already played the level, so we have 3 stars. We do the levels by heart, so we're getting good at it. So this is the first level, and as I said, it's pretty simple. It's 3 resistors that we have to place, I think. The first one.
Yes, you have to start. So you look at your available objects. So you can see 3 resistors. You have the resistance for each resistor and the number of resistors with this resistance you have. And we can see here we have 3 and some wires. You can have as many wires as you want. So we can start by placing, for this level, 8 ohms resistor, then place it in series. You can see you place the resistor, and then when you click on the resistor, you can delete it or rotate it as you will, and you still have the resistance indicated in the info bubble. So next on, we'll want to make you saw the circuit at the beginning. So for this one, you'll want to make a parallel circuit. So you'll want to use a cable, and by clicking on the cable, you'll be able to rotate it and change its functions, its type. So Kevin is going to take and make 2 branches, and then he's going to add 115 in parallel and 125 ohms in parallel.
I think we should mention also, when you start the level, you should check the power supply, how much voltage you have at the beginning. So in this case, it's 60 volts. And if you click on the target,
In this case, a coffee machine.
It will tell you the target is 3.45 amps. So the way you can tell we're working with amps is because you have an ammeter. If we were working with a capacitance, you would have a capacitance meter.
So you see your target and you start your circuit. This circuit, as I said, is pretty simple. So we're pretty much done. So you can see as soon as you're done and your circuit only needs to be connected with wires, you can see your result. So you know that right now you have the good answer because 3.45 amps. Now you can only complete your circuit. For the purpose of this demonstration, we will shorten the completion. And yes, by doing a little trick. So you can see you completed the level with 2 stars because you were slow and it's the first one, so it's normal. You can try again until you get 3 stars. So next level, level 2. Level 2 is a little bit more complex and uses capacitors. So you can see it's the same thing as in the first levels, but there's a capacitor texture with the farads and the number of capacitors you have. So we can start by clicking on the object to see the voltage, and then clicking on the microwave to see the target capacitance. And then Kevin will start by doing 3 rows, because this is how the level goes. So you want 3 parallel circuits, 3 parallel rows. And you can design your circuit as you want. You could put more cables, put it there, move around with the cables as you want. So it's really free to design how you want your circuit. And then he wants to place a 10 farads capacitor, a 20 and a 5 on the same row, and then the same row, my dear Kevin. It's okay. And then a 15 one on the last row. And then, as you can see, the capacitance reach the target capacitance.
And this is actually following the real physics formulas we learned in the NYC course, the electric and magnetism. So in parallel, basically, when you have capacitors, you add them up normally as you look at numbers, and when they're in series like these 2, you take 1 over this capacitance, 1 over this capacitance, and you take the inverse of that will be the equivalent capacitance of this branch of the circuit.
So you can see that those circuits are pretty simple and could be used for a student who wants to practice himself before his exam. They're good to know the physics and to try and understand circuits. So Kevin is going to complete the circuit. I'm cheating a little bit. And then we're going to move on with level 3. Level 3 is back with resistors. As you can see, your wonderful toaster, you're going to complete the circuit for the toaster. So you want to look at your voltage and at your target. A voltage at 120 volts. And a target of 7.5 amps. So Kevin will go and he'll make his circuit. He starts with a resistor of 10 in circuit in series. Okay. So now, as you can see, you have more choices. You have a lot more choices than you will really need. Kevin is lost.
Yeah, I don't have 10. Sure it's 10?
No, it's 1, sorry.
Yeah,
My bad.
there you go.
So you start with 1, and then you'll want to build 3 parallel rows. So as I said earlier, you can build them as you want, every direction he wants. you can see how Awesome Circuit is easy to play with, and it's very user-friendly for a new player. Then you'll want to place a 240 ohms, a 80 ohms, and a 20 ohms. To complete the circuit, as you can see, 7.5 amps, hooray! So, if the computer was nice, we would have a nice animation sound at the end with the connection circuit, and it would be beautiful and really rewards the player for completing the circuit. Then if we move on with the next circuit, now things are getting complicated. You have a lot of objects, so you have to really think your circuit before doing it. In that case, it's a TV where you have to reach 9.4 farads, and he'll want to start by placing a 10 farads resistor in series, and then making 4 parallel circuit different branches. In this circuit, we introduced the capacitor management. So there is a lot of capacitors here, and you can use fewer or more depending on your planification in your circuit. So in this case, you'll see I'll use a shortcut that you can use. You can use a 3.75 farad capacitor, or you could also use a 5 farad and a 15 farad, and that would give the same thing, but using more resources. So, and then in the second row, there's a 50 farads capacitor. In the third row, you can see another time the trick: a 5.6 farads capacitor, or a 10, a 35, and a 20 farads, as you want, as you plan it. And finally, a 100 farads capacitor. And that's it. So now, when you have a lot of branches, you reconnect them, and you can see the final result, 9.4. And you have a beautiful, complete circuit. 3 stars. What a rewarding game. Finally, the level 5, the most challenging level of awesome circuits, is a resistor level where you have to connect an oven. So, what is our target current, Kevin?
1.03.
Oh, perfect. So, we want to start by putting a 5, a 10, and a 100 ohms resistors in series. Actually, if you were a new player, you wouldn't know all the circuits because you wouldn't have planned them. So you'd have to start by planning and trying out some things and thinking about your circuit before actually putting things like I'm doing with Kevin right now. So it's not that simple. It's because we know the circuits. And then you want to make 4 branches, Kevin. Good job. And you'll have one of 5 ohms. Once more, you can use one of 2.5, 1, and 1.5 to build your circuit, as I said earlier. And then 5.5 and 3.
5.5 and 3 of the same branch?
Yes. Then 2 and 1.5. And finally, 5. 2 and 1.5 on the same one, sorry. Good job. And 5 on the last branch. You connect all those nice circuits together, and you get your result. Good job, Kevin.
Thank you. So yeah, that was our game. Also, when you're actually playing the game, we have always the option to go back to the menu by clicking the blue arrow in the corner over there. Also, you can pause, turn and toggle the sounds, go back to level selection once again, and also, if you need help, it explains the game there. Beautiful pictures.
Very nice explication, detail. Just read that, takes 1 minute, and then you can play the game all day long.
So, who was our target demographic for this game? Obviously, like Victor said a few times already, it's for students who are currently learning the basics of DC circuits, or puzzle amateurs. I found myself, while I was playing the game, it was a pretty good puzzle game actually. Like you actually have to play around, and then you see the value change, you figure out, okay, this does that to the value, so I need to do something else instead. And also anyone who's interested in DC circuits, the current circuits. So you might be wondering why we chose the cabinet for this. Because we already have similar applications in physics and the physics lab on laptops. However, they're not games, so we don't have a goal. We just play around with things. So sometimes it seems a little pointless. And also, the tablet is interesting because it's getting more and more ubiquitous. More people are buying them, and even schools are starting to acquire them. So maybe they could have it in the labs and whatnot. It's also great to learn how to program on an Android tablet. It was very interesting. It's pleasing to look at because of the high resolution of the tablet, much higher most of the time than a laptop. So, for example, this tablet is 2560 by 1440, so really great resolution. And also, it's exotic. It might stimulate the students to play with them and actually play the game, as opposed to a computer, which nowadays everybody has at home, so it's not that exotic compared to the tablet. And also, under the hood, we have libgdx, which is basically a game engine or a package of libraries that provides abstraction for OpenGL. So it provides uniform rendering no matter which platform you're on or no matter what tablet you're using. And it's also more coherent and it manages the resources more efficiently. And it provides cross-platform support. So if we ever want to port it to iOS or even to a computer, we have a version of the computer for testing purposes, and it's not optimized, but it works. So it's interesting for that too, and it's easy to make the conversion from one point to another. And it also allows us to do some pretty neat things like managing the assets so that we don't use as much RAM because we don't have a server to store our textures and assets like some applications do. So that's why there's some game you can't play without Wi-Fi, but the advantages of this is that you can play without the connection because we know that the connections in school sometimes is not reliable, so you can use it at school. And it's easy on your RAM because not every tablet has 3 gigs of RAM. Sometimes you have to deal with a small amount of RAM. So we're managing the assets very efficiently thanks to the GDX.
Finally, Awesome Circuit was made, the GUI part of Awesome Circuit was made using different pictures from free pictures around the web that you can find on those websites. And they were modified a little bit, always using a 3.0 attribution, free of use. And so Awesome Circuit in general is a game with a great variety of things to do that can be used for school, for passing time in the bathroom or in the car, and to practice for your next exam. So everybody go and download Awesome Circuit today. Thank you very much.
So hi everyone, I'm going to present to you Gradub. Gradub is a project manager for the student. But first, a project manager, why? Why a project manager? So me and my partner Marek, which is not here today but will be there in the presentation later in the video, we found that when we do project at school, we use so much different tools that we don't know where to look anymore. Like you can use all of these to communicate with people. You use these to organize your calendar and give tasks to people. And then you use these to keep track of the tasks you have to do. And you use these to store your file and also GitHub in programmation project. So we wanted to do something new that that we don't need anymore so much program to do this. But we are not the first to think about this. There is like a lot of program that does this already, but the problem is that these programs are really expensive because they are not for the student, they are for the business. And the business see them as an expense instead, like see them as an investment instead of an expense, as we see them. So for example, we have Rike. Rike is like the cheapest software you can have for project management, but it's very for enterprise. And as you can see, $49 a year for 5 users, like no student will buy that. But then if you use Slack, which is another great product used in Silicon Valley, you go from $400 a year, so it becomes very expensive. And also Microsoft Project, you have like a standard version like $9.29, so it can become very expensive, and us as a student, we don't have money. So what we decide to do is do something like this one, but put it free for everyone. So this is our market. So we started by studying like who is our target, and it is the student, you and me. So what a student wants, he wants something free, he wants something that is quality, and he wants something that is simple. But he has some characteristic. At school, we do not decide who we are with in team. Like most of the project, I'm with new people that I don't know. So this is a really, really big issue for us. So also, generally, we are good with technology, with the iPhone and new tablet and things. And we are stressed a lot, like as a student. So we wanted to design something that answer all of these issues. So we came with GradUp. And GradUp is designed to do three simple things. First, get the job done, because this is the most important thing in school. Also, for the issue that we do not decide who we are with, like get others to work is very important in a school, not in the other software for the businesses. There's no aspect like this, because in business, if you don't work, you're fired. But at school, you have to get others to work. So with notification and things like that, we can motivate others to work. And also free, it's like the motto of it. So this is the interface of the GradUp. So it is designed to be very, very simple. So you can see it like as a 4 section. So you have the member section, the task list section, the documentation section, and the calendar section. So here you can add members and double click on them to chat with them. So this can be used widely in any project. Also you have a task list, so you can assign members, assign documents to the task list, and see the completed task and go back and forth between a complete task and a new task. Also you can put documents and share documents with other people in your project. And finally a calendar, which is very, very important to simulate the meetings, the deadline, and the working time of the user. And here we have like the notification part, where we want really like when a new task come in GradUp, that you hear a notification sound. So more you use GradUp, more you will have the reflex to go here and see what is the new thing that happened. So then, and you can say to others, oh, get to work and work harder. So, but we have a very, very special thing in GradUp. It's a gaming dimension. Because as a student, we like to work, but we like to play also. So we designed a game in GradUp. But the particularity of the game is that you have to work to play to the game. So you have to work 1 hour to play 10 minutes of game. And then you have to wait another hour to play again at 10 minutes. So we found that it is like a good rate to play. So this is the game. And the game is called Jindo, and the character here is Jawa. So my partner Marek is currently in Chile. So he made a Let's Play video on YouTube, but we can see it as an MP4 file.
Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the second part of the project. So the way it works is that after you work on your project for 1 hour, you'll get the chance to play a 10-minute game, a platforming game. The whole design of the game is that casual players will be able to have fun, and people who are more used to playing video games will also have a good challenge as they play. So right there you saw there's the splash screen and there's a timer ticking down. So the whole idea of the game is that you have 10 minutes to beat as many levels as possible. So the way you control the game is with the arrow keys. You can move right and left. You can press shift to speed up and up to jump. You can also use the AWSD keys. They'll do the same exact thing. That part is all a matter of preference. So now we're going to take a look, before we move on to the next levels, let's take a look at the menu. It's right here in the top left corner. Click it and it opens up. Press again to close it. You can also press anywhere on the screen actually and it'll do the same thing. The whole idea of the button was so that you'd be able to know that there's actually a menu and that clicking the screen does something. So once it's open, there's 3 different things to see. There's the level number you're on, the help button. So whenever you press buttons, there'll be a help icon that'll make sure that you know that you pressed the right button. So if I press the right arrow key here, it'll light up, the player will move, and you know that you pressed the correct button. So you can turn those off, and later on you're going to see why that's important. There's also the music option here. So if you click that and the audio of your computer will be on, the music will mute, and if you press it again, it'll turn back on and restart. But we don't have the music playing right now. So let's move on. Next level. So the first couple of levels are actually what we like to call the tutorial levels, because they teach you how to play the game. They're very easy levels, and all the levels teach you about the game. So here we learn about what platforms do, the way they let you go through them. Here we learn about the shift button. So right over here, we have a shift icon. This is one of the help buttons. And if you press it, it tells you hold to sprint, and you know exactly what to do. The next level is for some people who aren't used to platforming games, and some people don't even know that you can jump and move at the same time like that. Some of them just go straight up. So it's all, these first couple levels, anybody can play them, anybody can learn. And if you're a more experienced player, you should be able to breeze by these levels and get to the actual challenging part of the game. So let's move on to the first challenging level of the game, level 7. So before I talk about this level, let me just mention that the help buttons now, because we're on this level, turn off automatically. If you turn them back on, you get them right here. All of them are on screen. And for every level from now on, they'll be placed in these exact spots. So we're going to turn them off because now we know how to control the game. But if you're passing on the controls to another player, or you want to show an audience which buttons you're pressing, you would have these on. So now, speaking of this level, you can see the giant dark square that's moving across, and it's the main obstacle of the game. So if you touch it, everything resets. You need to do the level all over again. And we use this block in as many creative ways as possible. So many so that we were able to make 20 original levels, all with a new feel for each level. Every level was made to have a progress so that you feel like you're improving, you're getting more challenging levels as you go on, and trying to use the blocks in new, fresh ways. So once you beat the 20 levels, you've done the first half of the game. You move on to this screen in the next level, and you see the timer, so you know exactly how much time you have. And as soon as you go through this part of the game, you get to level 21. And you may feel like you've seen this level before, and it's because you have. It's level 1, but backwards, and with a change of color. So now every level of the game has been flipped, and there's one big change. There's, well, two actually. One, there's more obstacles than there were before, and two, those obstacles move faster. So if you saw an obstacle in the previous levels, it moves faster, and you might have to deal with added stuff. So for example, this was level 3 before, and there were no obstacles, but now there's this obstacle that moves up and down that tries to get you. So we did that for every single level, and some are harder than most. This one especially got really hard. So we actually did all 20 levels, more challenge, more speed. It gets really challenging, and there's still that flow that you feel like you're getting a harder challenge every single level. So once you beat level 40, you've beaten most of the game. Only after you beat the next level is when you win, if you won the game. So you get to this level, and you get to the gold level, level 41, designed by Phil. So it is unbelievably challenging, and especially since it's the last level of the game, you might not even have enough time to even try this level. It is definitely for the best players, and even in playtesting, I don't think anyone has ever beaten this level during a normal game. We've seen people beat it with like 20 minutes, to spare there, but never anyone who did it during a normal game. So if you can beat this level, you really are the king of this game. Once you beat this level, if you can, if the odds are unbelievable, you move on to this screen. Congratulations, you are an incredible player. And you really need to be one hell of an experienced player to get to this screen. So that's basically the whole challenge of this game. That's what I meant earlier on, is that casual players can take on the first 20 levels or so, while more experienced players can try and get to this screen. So there's a challenge for everyone. Now, we're going to just show one last thing. We're going to speed up time, and we're going to move on to the last 30 seconds. So the way it works, like I said before, is that you have 10 minutes to beat the game, and when it hits 0, that's when the game ends. But there's a special little thing, because we didn't want it to just end abruptly, so the game keeps track of every single level and makes sure you've completed under a certain time. So I think the best way to explain is that it's just a split tracker, so you know exactly which level took you the longest, which ones you breezed through. And you might see a little problem here because we skip levels, but we did beat 12 levels the old-fashioned way, so it tells you exactly how long it took. So level 1, when we spent a lot of time discussing it, is the one we took the most time on, and then any moment now the screen will close itself. There we go. So that's the game. Now we're going to talk about the design behind it.
This part is just that. So this is very an amazing game. I played, but I'm really worse than Marek to play game. But I still got to the level 26 last night, so I'm very proud of me to get to this level. Marek did get to the gold level one time in 10 minutes, but then the timer got to 0, and he didn't have a chance to try the gold level in a normal game. So maybe if we have time, we can show the application. So there it is, Grada. So just checking if this server is started. Yeah. So first you come in the first screen where you have to log in or register to a new account. So I will use my typical account. So then you have the list of all the projects you are part of. So you choose, and you finally arrive in Grada. So this is where you can do all of the things that I was talking about before. So example, we can chat to Marek, and if he was online, yeah. How is the race in China? Sorry. But so you can do a lot of things. You can add new tasks. So task 2, and as I said earlier, you can add members to it. Like, oh, Marek, you have to do this. So I check him, and then you can put documents to the task. That, oh, if I want Marek to do something, I check it there and I send him the document I want him to see. So I very simply create the task. So this is very convenient, very fast. Also, if it was open on his computer, by creating the task here, you're gonna receive a notification that I created a task for him. So then we have here the documentation. So here I will just delete this. And then choose a new file, add a picture to the project, and then open the picture. So the picture is now in the project. Once you put it there, everyone in the project, every member here can see it and can open it. And also you can create events, but I will not create any events this long. And you can see all the events that are already in calendar and manage them from there. So the goal here is to stay very simple to the user, because we want it to be fast, and as I said at the beginning, students like it simple. So for this we put like a small tutorial all around the application. So for example, if you click on the question mark here, you see like all the action you can do with this section, and then there's a question mark. So this is, so finally, I will just, So the last thing I want to show you is the future of Grada. So we want to port Grada to a mobile application like this. iPhone and Android. And also we thought about like doing the new cool thing like the watch, and like receiving notification on the watch when you have to do something. So this is about it for GrowUp. If there is any question, feel free to ask a question. Thank you.
Okay guys, hello. We're going to show you the newest game right now. It's called Gravity Fighters. It's a new trend. It's a super competitive game and everyone will love it. Basically, the whole design of the game is, like our motto is, it's easy to learn yet very hard to master. I am the lead designer of the game, Martin Spasov. This is the lead artist. Also, we're both the programmers of the game, William Caron, and we're going to show you our project, Gravity Fighters. So, this is our logo of the game, Gravity Fighters, GF, and you can see all the little characters moving around on the sides. We'll come to the characters later. So, the design of our game, the whole goal, it's a two-player game, it's very competitive, and it's action-packed. Everything happens in real time. So, you need to have reflexes, you need to think fast, and it's very competitive, and yeah, so you have each player chooses a character from a selection of 5 characters, then you select your arena and you fight. The goal is simple: defeat your enemy. In this case, it's your friend, but it creates rivalities in between people.
Yeah, and one of the best part of it is that it's free. It's a free game. Everyone likes when you don't have to pay for great games and all these. And of course, during all the years, we're gonna make DLCs, and they're gonna be free. We're gonna add some new players that people is gonna be able to play. So there's gonna be more diversity, and it's gonna make the game more fun. When you're tired of playing game because it's always the same thing, but then we're gonna add new characters you're gonna play. So it's gonna make more fun again and again. Yeah.
We're also going to follow the metagame very strictly. So let's say one of the characters is too strong, and everyone keeps selecting the same character because he's the strongest one for some reason. We're going to pay attention to that and tweak the numbers, make him a little weaker, make the others who are underwhelmed, make them a little more powerful. So we need to have this game balanced. It's pretty hard to balance it since all the characters are different and they all have completely different abilities. So we're going to go through some of the characters and show them to you.
So we have the first character. It's Bloodlord Vampire. He's a vampire, and his specialty is that every time he attacks someone, he can heal himself for an amount of the damage he has dealt to the enemy. And you can go on.
The second character we have is Itachi, the ninja. His special abilities is that he is smaller than the other characters, so he is much harder to hit. He also moves much faster, so he is yet again much harder to hit. Of course, one of his disadvantages is that when he hits, he deals much less damage and knocks the enemy, like, he doesn't knock him back that much. The next character we have is
Alberon. He's a mage. He's a magician, and of course, because he's old, we don't see it, but he's an old guy, so he moves a little bit slower than everyone else. But because he is old, he has a real good mastery of magic, and he does a lot of damage with his spells, and he has a great power.
The next character is Olaf. He is a barbarian. He is much bigger than everyone else, which is a disadvantage because he is much easier to hit, but he has more health than everyone else. Therefore, he can take much more hits. His special power is basically that he hits much stronger when he is closer. His melee attacks deal much more damage than everyone else. This is Gravitron.
He's a robot that we made. We designed him to be just really balanced and be just more fun to play. And he has a laser beam and all the cool stuff that robots do in the future. And we can go on.
So there's also this other element to the game, which is gravity. You have a gravity bar, you'll see it later when we show you the game, which allows you to either increase or decrease the gravity of the map you're playing in. So this can be used in many different ways. For example, let's say I'm the ninja and I throw a shuriken. The enemy sees, oh, he's throwing a shuriken, I'll decrease the gravity and the shuriken will fall in front of me and he won't be able to reach it. It's even more devastating for if you're playing someone who casts spells, for example the mage. If the mage casts a fireball, which deals a big explosion on hit, but the enemy sees that the mage is going to cast a fireball, so he increases the gravity, so the fireball will fall closer to the mage and the explosion will hit the mage himself, doing damage to himself. The other element the gravity bar allows is to completely flip the map. You'll see there's some really awesome mechanics that come with the map flipping once we show you the game. So these are the characters, all the lists of their special abilities, but we went through them already.
So yeah, we have designed to make the game even more fun. Instead of just having one map, we have designed 5 different maps with all unique aspects. And in this one, there's going to be like, we're going to show them later on in game what they look like. This one has like spikes, so when you fall on them, you're gonna get damaged by them. We have the sky, which is just like an air map, and there are some clouds moving around, which you can hide behind them, so it's harder to get hit behind. The fire, where there's going to be some fire at some places. If you fall on it or you walk on it, you're going to get burned. And we have the ice map, which is when the specialty is that there's going to be ice cube around the map, and when you walk on it or you just jump on it, you're going to get really slow, and then the enemy, it's going to be easier for him to hit you. And then the last one is the lightning, where there's like electricity ball moving around the arena, and if you're hit by it, you're damaged by it.
It's important to note that the maps, they have basically different difficulty levels. Some are much more hardcore than the others. For example, the electricity map, there's electricity balls moving around, there's platforms that you can go under. It's much harder to navigate through it. It's made for much more experienced players. And example, the snow map, which doesn't have any environment that damages you, it has only little snow spikes that will slow you a little bit. It's much more friendly for beginners. It's much more difficult to like kill yourself on the map or something like that.
Yeah, because when, example, you start to play, you don't want to play on a map that it's really hard to play, and you don't have any fun to start and to learn the game. So we designed maps that you can start to learn, and then you can become a professional and then do competition.
Okay, so we're going to show you the game now. We're going to start by showing you the designer version, which is our version of the game, which basically, because every character has an ultimate ability, which to do the ultimate ability, you need to have your ultimate bar full. So the designer version ignores the ultimate bars. Basically, you can always cast your ultimate no matter how much energy you have. This is made just so we can show you the ultimates. And after that, we're going to run the normal version, and we're going to ask some of you, the audience, to come and try it out for us. So it's important to note the music that you hear right now.
Choose your character.
The music that you hear right now is made with one of my friends. He had fun designing the music for a game. So yeah, a special thanks to Ravi for doing it.
Choose your character.
And so
Select your arena.
we're just going to show like all the abilities of each player. So, really quick.
So as you see, we made it so that you can play with PS3 controllers, because 2 players on the same keyboard, it's rather annoying and it takes lots of space and it's clustered. And we have a lot of controls in the game because they have all different abilities, you can flip the map and so on. So it was really not optimal playing with the keyboard, so I decided to make it work with the PS3 controllers, and it's much more fluid and goes much better. So as you see right now, so when I click on the game, click on the game. Select. Okay, so right now I'm playing the ninja, as you see. I can move with the PS3 controller with the arrows and cast my spells. So the sounds were found used on freesounds.com.
No, it's
No?
soundbible.com.
Soundbible.com.
Yeah, it's, well, we took two sites because there was more choices, and we modified them a little bit because of the length, or we didn't like the sound or the pitch. So we modified them with the Audacity, and we made some of the sound by ourselves too.
So yeah, the sounds we recorded ourselves is, for example, in the menu, when we say like choose your character, choose your arena, and so on. They're designed by us. Well, we recorded them using Audacity. Click on the map so we can show the game.
Yeah, that.
Okay, so right now, we switch the controls. I'm playing the mage, so I can charge you his ultimate. So the mage, you can throw fireballs. he can throw, and this is his main attack. Every character has a main attack. He can throw lightnings, which go infinite range and so on. And his ultimate, which is basically the point of showing this with the modified version, he summons many fireballs that fall from the sky. While he's casting his ultimate, he is invulnerable, and he cannot move at the same time. So if we go back to the menu to show the other characters, you want to show the other characters, Will?
Okay, I didn't see the mouse, that's why.
It's because we're extending this. We're not. We're extending the screen instead of copying it, so it's a little confusing.
Choose your character.
So basically,
Select
you
your
click
arena.
it. That's the sky.
Fight.
We have graviton, which is a laser beam, and an electricity ball. They all have like a melee attack, and I can do the ultimate.
Yeah, because he's player 2 and it's only player 1 who can cast
It's
it.
just a super large laser beam, which does all the map instead of the laser. Not all projectiles have the same range and all things.
The Gravitron's ultimate, it's important though that this is one of the only projectiles that passes through all the environments, so you can pass through platforms to hit the other target. The Olaf, who is the big guy as you see, he is bigger than the Gravitron. Well, his melee attacks deal much more damage and do a lot more knockback than everyone else. As you can also note, by looking at it, when I hit him, if he hits the wall, he will bounce back. So every spell has different amounts of knockback. For example, the ninja, who is small, when he hits, he doesn't do a lot of knockback. The Olaf, when he hits, he does a lot of knockback and so on. When Olaf casts his ultimate, he goes into a rage, and if he attacks me right now, I will not get knocked back. Like, attack me. See, he completely ignores every sort of knockback and still keep on walking. It lasts 10 seconds. That's his ultimate ability.
So yeah, we're gonna go on.
Every map has a health pack that spawns every 30 seconds. The health pack regenerates some health. It's very important to fight it, and it's a clutch point to take it back. So now we're going to run the version, the user-friendly version, well, the version that we're going to play, and I want 2 people from the audience to come and try out the game for us.
Don't be shy. It's gonna be tough. Okay.
Choose your character.
Okay, so who you wanna play?
I want to play Olaf.
Olaf?
Yeah.
And who you wanna play?
Choose your character.
Okay.
Because you guys are good players, we're gonna take this map, and let's the game begin.
Fight.
Wow.
So as you see, you can get hit by the sides, you can flip the gravity, you can increase it or decrease it, and these are the energy. And when the bar of the ultimate is the max, then you're going to be able to cast the ultimate, which does a lot of damage. So what we see is going to maybe both of them going to do it at the same time.
Okay. You can press triangle to cast your ultimate. Still make sure to look at him and press triangle.
Look at it.
Yeah, face your guy if you must face him.
Nice. So Griffin is in trouble.
At the same time, the health pack spawn.
Yeah. So
Nice.
this is our game. Awesome.
Can you show all the maps?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we showed you already the Earth map. You saw the air
Choose
map.
your character.
So which map is missing? Let's go with the snow
Choose
map.
your character.
The snow map is the simplest one.
For the beginner one.
So as you see, there's these little spikes in the middle. That when you ice spikes, that when you walk on them, you slow, so you move much slower, and you jump much less higher. Because you can see whenever you get freeze or something over here under your bar, you have a little debuff showing you for how long you're still frozen, and for how long you move slower. You go For example, on the next map,
Choose your
the
character.
fire map,
Choose your character. Select your arena.
the fire map there's little fires. When you go on them, you take some damage over time. As you see, you have a little debuff as well that shows you how much damage. Like right now, I cannot jump up to the fire to get burnt, so I'll just reduce the gravity. Actually, I increase it right now, so that's not a good idea. Hell, you increase it, I was trying to reduce it. We're out of energy, so right now, gravity energy, so I cannot reduce it. So right now, I increase the gravity so I can jump much higher, and go grab the health back, go stand on the fire, and it will slowly burn me down. If I move it out of it, I will still burn for a few seconds, but after that, it will also stop burning and stop taking damage. And lastly, we have the electricity map.
Which is the Pro MLGA one.
Yep.
And
Which needs to be run in the other version because this is.
what?
No, you run the wrong version.
Oh, maybe yeah.
Sorry about that.
I don't have
Choose your character. Choose your character. Select your
Interesting.
arena.
The last map.
So, as you see,
There's little electricity balls here. It will
there's
hit
a lot
you.
of things going on, and
For example, if let's say I'm standing over here on the bottom, then he sees that I'm standing here, so he can flip the map and get me stuck under this platform, and there's going to be the electricity ball's going to come back and walk and hit me and so on. There's many strategies you can try and find. It's very reactive gaming basically.
so, basically this is our game.
Yep. Thanks for the.
Okay, so good morning everybody. Today I want to present to you my stock market lab, our awesome project. So what is my stock market lab? So it's a stock market simulation software designed for education and financial market and investment on the S&P 500. So the idea behind my stock market lab, every market simulation software for students are not user-friendly, they're expensive, and you can invest only on a restricted market. So students are not able to learn and to enjoy their experience. So this is an example of our competition. It's called Bourstad. So you can see the graphical interface is really not beautiful, and it's not user-friendly. So it's not fun for the student, and he's not able to learn properly. So our features, you can create a student account, and the student can enroll in the class. So for the student, you can buy on the S&P 500, you can sell stock on the S&P 500, you can use technical analysis tools, you can see your performances, see the performance of your group, see all your transactions, quick view on commodities, see the market performance, and you have real-time data, no delay. And for the teacher, you can see the performance of your group, the performance of each student. You can also use technical analysis tool on every stock. You can have a quick view on commodities, and you can change the initial balance for each group.
So now, why should you use my stock market lab compared to other things like Bourstad? Well, it is not complicated. It's not a complicated program, so everyone can just jump in without prior experience in finance and really just learn what does it mean to have a profit or a loss on a stock. Just buy some stocks, experience. It's not real money, so feel free to buy 500 stocks of Apple, and if it goes down, well, it's not a big deal. It's not your real money. As we said, it's really diversified market. You can trade on all 500 S&P 500 stock. Compared to Bourstad, where you can have, I think, 200 stocks, it's really limited. With our program, you get a broad array of stocks. And as we said, there is no time delay. The majority of stock market simulators have a 15 minutes delay, so you don't have the real-time information. It's always late 15 minutes. Our program retrieves the information each second, so you get what's on the market at that moment, and it's fast. Now, how does it work? Our program We download information from Yahoo Finance. It gives us an XML file. From there, we just convert it to Java stuff, and to store the user preferences and passwords and username, we use a database in MySQL. So I will run through a quick demo of our program. What's up, everyone? It shows here.
Put it on the side, second screen is extended. You need to drag it and put it on the other screen.
Now you extend it.
Oh, you extend it. So
Oh, what's that?
Give it.
Mais là,
Mais ça, je peux juste pas jouer dessus.
This is how I check Windows screen.
So, I'll explain a bit of the GUI. It's pretty simple. Here we have our logo. You can see the balance. This is a student account. So we see Philip, and we see the student ID, which is got up. But yeah. So the balance is here. The value of the portfolio, which I will explain later. We can see we have a graph of your progress. So that's a graph of your portfolio value over 2 weeks. And we have a graph of the portfolio value of the group for 2 weeks. Here we have all the NASDAQ stocks, so these are the most important ones, just there always, you can change them. Here you have a graph of S&P 500 monthly, and a couple of random, we call them newsflash, so there's stocks that change randomly, as you can see, with changing percentage. We have the stock market status, so for now it's closed because well,
it opens at 9:30.
Yeah, it opens at 9:30. So just do some buffer. So this is a student portfolio. We can see all the actions, the stocks that the student bought, the value of each, and the daily change of each. You can click on one to get more information. So it loads, and it gets you all the information you need that we can extract from Yahoo. The name, all the stats, and you can put an amount here in the text field to sell your stocks, and you will see the adjusted price, which is an average of because you don't always buy a stock at the same price over time. So this is pretty much an average of your. It's used to calculate your profit. Here we can see we make 0.03 profit positive. You can see the amount owned, the total of total amount, and if you go in market, let's see, price. Oh yeah, if you sell, I sell it. Your balance will be updated, your portfolio value will be updated, and your quantity will be updated. So in market, here are all the 500 stocks. And you can enable auto update, so that's the real-time refreshing. So all these will change, and you have a search engine, so you can just write a stock that you want to buy. Let's say Apple. Just click on it, like on the portfolio. You have a graph of the change of value over monthly. We can change it to weekly if we want. We have a couple of options. Here we have our two. These are our two technical analysis tools, so if you can just click on it.
it's moving.
Yeah, moving. For the moving average, so moving average and Bollinger Bands, we need at least 5 days because that's the way we set it up. So that's why in weekly we didn't see anything. In monthly we have 30 days, so we can see all the change. That's the orange one is Bollinger. Green one is Bollinger, and orange one is moving average.
And the investor uses a technical analysis tool as an indicator of market trends. So, yeah, it helps the investor.
For example, right here, the blue line is the actual stock. the orange line means if the blue line goes underneath it, well, it indicates that this stock went really bad for that amount of time. So right here on April 30th, the stock went really down, so probably something happened to the stock, and it's useful for the student to know these information, because or else you'll just buy stocks without really knowing what you do.
So again, you can buy instead of sell here on the market, and it's going to update your balance and your portfolio value again. Here it's going to appear in your portfolio. So for the history,
and just a quick note, every action you do is actually updated in the database in real time too. That's why we need to use threads, really, because there is so many things going on in our program at the same time. For example, in the market, right here, now the stock market is closed, so unfortunately you cannot see really what happens, but each of these information, each of these values will change every time the bar completes, because the actual stock changes. So that's what we said by there's no time delay. Usually the information is stored for 15 minutes, it won't change, and after 15 minutes then it rechanges back. Our program doesn't do that, it changes then every single time. No.
I just want to add something for the technical analysis. Go on. So to compute the moving average, we just compute an average of a subset of points, and the subset moves. And to compute the Bollinger Band, we add twice and we subtract twice the standard deviation of the subset. So in this case, the length of the moving average is 5. So we add twice the standard deviation of a subset of length 5.
And now for history.
so for the history, that's basically self-explanatory. You get all the stocks that you bought or sell, the quantity, the ask price, the order time, the order type, and the transaction ID. So you can see sell, buy, the date, and you can change these columns around if you want. It's customizable, and you can order them. So you can just chronologically order them. So like from old to new, or the quantity, or all that, you can change them. So yeah.
So that is for a student's account. Now, as we said, each student has to associate with a teacher. That is really the main goal of our program, because there are stock market simulator that you just buy and it's fun, it's on your own. But the thing with my stock market lab is there is a teacher that can really sit down with you, see your profile, because he has an account, which I'll show you.
So for the teacher, the home page is pretty much the same graphical interface, but there's no graphs.
No, those are random, so you won't get the same twice, and it's on a pool of 125 commodities of yeah.
So as a teacher, when you go into market, you can't buy stocks. But if you go into history, you can see all your students. You can click on each and every one of them, and you'll get the history table that we saw on the student client. You can see all the stocks that the student bought. You can see the portfolio value of that student and his or her balance, the student ID. And when we click on a student here on the right in history, this graph will change to show the progress of this student. So this is the progress of I don't know.
It's
Chelsea. Chelsea. The progress of
it's
Kenny Holmes over the last 2 weeks. And you can also see that's the class progress. So that's basically the progress of every student in the class.
So if here, for example, the student went really well for that day, and the class, well, didn't go that well. So it really shows how this student in particular really excelled on that day. That's why, that's the uniqueness of our program. It's really individual feedback compared to your class.
And our goal of our program is really education on financial markets.
That is our homepage. As we said, you can create a new user, student, or teacher. And quick note, you need internet connection for this program to work. Many problems if you don't have it. And sums it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, so hello fellow businessmen and businesswomen. We're here to present to you today Amplitude, the amazing tool for creating animations that react to music. So what is Amplitude? As I said, Amplitude is basically a tool that allows you to visualize music and express yourself. So Amplitude is designed to be as easy to use as possible, and to allow anyone basically to create simple and beautiful animations that will react to different characteristics of a sound. For example, the amplitude and the frequency. So by analyzing a sound, we can get a lot of information about it and transfer that information into a visual that will modify some shapes and create overall something that's just visually beautiful. So Amplitude has a lot of nice features, and a lot of them were implemented to make this software as user-friendly as possible. We have currently 3 different types of shapes. We can use any colors, and also change the background color or change it to be an image. We also have a user-friendly menu bar in which you have a help section. And you can get a tutorial there, or even use presets to create your own animations. So we came up with the idea of Amplitude by looking at things we both like, which is physics and music. And we tried to mix both of those subjects together to create something that was nice to use and fun to use. So we think this software could be really nice for a lot of people, and more specifically for musicians and artists. Artists can use it just to express their creativity and just try to use a program to make whatever they like and show to other people what they can do with it. And musicians can use it to promote their songs, or just as a way to visualize what their song is. Music is often just something you hear, not something you see. And when you want to promote your songs, and you just, make your users, if I can say, listen to your songs, they're often not completely captivated by your song. You need a visual support to completely get their attention and really show them what you can do and how great your song is. Since we designed Amplitude for artists and musicians, we decided to make it as user-friendly as possible. Because a lot of people don't know a lot about computers or how to use softwares. So we did a tutorial and a lot of like big buttons, like you'll see later, just to make it as easy to use as possible. And this also allowed, well, basically anyone to use our software. It's so easy to use. Yeah, so even children can use our software. And that is also another selling point of it. Let's say in elementary school, a student who don't know anything about wave physics can use it just to get a first sense of what is a sound. Like, how is it made? It's composed, like we know that it's composed of different frequencies that all combine together to create the thing that you hear. But for small children, it's really difficult to conceptualize and visualize. And this tool could really help them to the first step of learning how wave physics work. So another reason why we didn't go, why we created that software was because we didn't find a lot of alternatives online. And actually we only found one, which is Adobe After Effects. And this software is both really expensive, like around $1,000, and really difficult to use. Like you need to know a lot about montage and video effects, and watch a lot of tutorials to create a video. And to create a video with shapes that react to music is even more learning and more stuff you have to know. And the software was designed for video effects of people and artists, and not really for people who are not working all the time on computers or just want to create something fast and easy, just like our software does Amplitude.
So let's see our program.
Alright, so this is the splash screen. This is the first thing you see when you open up the software. And you can see the logo animating. That is just a small example of what you can expect while working with our software. So when you're new, we highly recommend you to click the tutorial just to learn how to use this software. So the tutorial is made in 6 different steps. It's really well organized. It has a lot of pictures to make you really understand how to use it. And it also has a lot of words in bold, just to put an emphasis on them, that those words are important. So it's really designed to be as easy to read and to use in the software as possible. So as you can see, you start by showing what the splash screen is and what are the 2 options. Then we guide you through how to create your very first project by creating shapes, by modifying them, then by adding reactions to them. And we even explain the different kinds of reactions. And at the end, we just tell you to basically go on your own, that you're ready to produce your own projects, because that's all you need to know.
So we'll try to create a new project so you can see all the features our program has. So first we'll find a song. And our program only accepts WAV files, so you need to convert your music file if they're not. So first when you come up, it's a blank screen, and you have to choose a background. So first you either have to choose a picture or pick a color. So let's choose a picture. Can someone choose for me? Which picture do you want? Third one? Okay, perfect. So then you can add either a rectangle, triangle, or circle. What do you want? Triangle. So there we have our triangle. And we have many things we can change about that triangle. And the first thing is the color. What color do you want?
Blue.
Orange.
Blue or orange?
Orange.
Blue.
Orange. Okay, good. And then you can decide if you want it filled or not. So you can see with the border thickness also. What is the border thickness you want?
4.
4? Yeah. And then you can change the border color. So you can put it blue just for Louis.
Yes.
Like this. And then you can decide the size. So for example, 100 by 100. Now that we've created a triangle, you want it to move when you play the music, so you can add a reaction. And in the reaction, you have 2 types of reaction. You either have amplitude or frequency reaction. So what do you want, amplitude or frequency reaction? frequency, okay? And then the reaction can either affect the size, the width, the height, the red, the blue, or the green component.
The size.
The size, perfect. And you can set a minimum and a maximum value. So for example, let's put 3 and let's put 11. That's going to be big, but okay.
And if you don't know what to put, you always have a text that explains to you
Yeah.
what those values are supposed to be and like what's the range you should enter.
And what is the range of the frequency that you want?
Why?
0.
Usually sounds start from 20 hertz. What we hear is from 20 hertz to 20,000. So we should not go below 20 hertz.
So then we can apply the reaction and then start the music. And we're going to see that the shape now moves. And then there's also the option new, so let's go to new. It opens back the first screen, and you can now open your the program you created before. And then you can play it again. So good. In the menu, we can also import sound, so if you want to change music, this is also possible. You can also open a new project, but if you haven't saved, it's going to ask you to save. And we also have help, where we can go back to the tutorial, or even open a preset. So, for example, this one. So you can see what you can do.
And you can skip through the song by clicking on the progress bar. Also mute the sound and control the volume as you want.
So now you can see also that here, you cannot modify anything because you haven't clicked on anything. So for example, you click on it, you can see the reaction that the shape is affected by, and you can add a new reaction if you want. So I think that's pretty much it. You can also delete the shape if you don't want it anymore. And delete. Yeah, so now we're going to open, where is it? Because we have a customer that is really satisfied in this audience, and he created one animation. Where is it? It's in my computer. Wait a second. It is going to take 5 seconds. Wait.
Can you show other presets? What?
Oh, yeah, we can. Wait. While we are waiting.
Can you show also the other presets?
Yeah. There's one other preset. You can also put it full screen. I think the last preset we can show was the third one. Yeah, okay. So this one shows, if you look on the other screens you'll see better, but it shows really all the circles turn to red with the frequency, I think, we're due to do.
Now let's open our customer's animation. Right here.
Alright, so that's a project that one of our users did, and I think he has a lot of fun doing it.
So please welcome William so he can talk about his experience.
So, hi. Yeah, like both of these guys, I really like music, and when I heard about their project, I was really excited because it's something it's something really that I like to watch when I'm on YouTube, and when I use the program, I saw that it was really simple to use, and it did some great results, as you cannot see, but it's a good program that everyone can use, and it's easy to use. And yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to welcome you guys to our presentation. Our game is called Across the Universe. It's an RPG. But when you think of our game, I don't want you to think of it just another RPG, but rather a new experience into a whole nother universe. So first off, in our game, we have 9 different planets and 3 different moons. 2 for the Zuplon one and 1 for the Lunches. And for each of these, there's a race that inhabits all of them. And also their climates are different, as you can see on the side, where there's some that are rocky and mountain, sea underwater, desert, etc. And for each of these planets, we also calculated all of the stats so we can make the gravity. As you can see, we actually did like the orbit radius, the orbital period, the orbital velocity, and all that kind of stuff. And with all that, we were able to actually create the gravity constant for each of our planets. And for how big and small we chose them, we actually took like approximately the same as our universe, so you won't find like a tiny little planet like in the bits of planes, so that's fine. And for each of these planets, there are all these races, as I said before, and for all these races, you have to know that there's different characteristics for all of them. Their strength changes, charisma, vitality. The speed does too, but that's like, again, with that. And there's also intelligence. And for each of them, the height and weight also change, so the gravity changes for all of them too. So the races are the Tigerians, Penisonians, all the rest. I don't think I need to name them. And as you can see, the height and weight, these are just approximately, because there's only 3 different types, so it's not like crazy. So we tried to make it also at least, if one is really strong in one suit, then it's like really lower in another, so it's really equal during the game.
And the way we calculate it is for each stat we put it either low, high, or medium. And it's like medium is 0, high is 1, and low is -1. And when we add up all the stats, it's always equal to 0. So each race is equal to another. There's not a better race than any other in the game. Yeah.
So we'll now show you the game so we can go more into detail. So this is our flash screen, and these are all the races you can be.
So yeah, this is our main menu. The main menu of our game uses our main theme, which is what you can hear right now. All the music, we took it from newgrounds.com, which has free music on it created from a user of the website. We have 4 different buttons. We have new game, load game, options, and exit. I guess you know what exit does. It does exit the game. New game allows you to create a game, load to load one you already created, and options is the button that allows you to disable sound effects or music. Each button here is one of our planet, and over it you have a little text, so here it's load. When you over it, you can hear a little sound, so you can notice that you're over the button, and when you click on it, you get another sound effect. So here, for example, I got the music, I can turn it off, click it back on, if you prefer to listen to your own music or just simply have not. And you can put the sounds off, so when you over buttons and attack monsters and stuff, you don't have those sometimes annoying sounds, but for now we'll keep them. So you come back, we can start by creating a new game. So this is our new game menu. In the first place, you have to enter your character's name and your game's name. And if it's empty, for example, if I just write Louis as my character's name, but I have no game name, and I try to accept, it will tell me that I must give a name to my save file. And this is our in-game pop-ups. We wanted the game to all be sort of all together for the graphics, the color, the fonts, and everything. So we made our own pop-ups in-game. Oh, it doesn't disappear this time. But you can enter your name for your game name, so we'll call it testing. You can choose your race, trans and Azerian, and you'll see the graph changing as the game goes on. And you can see your characters look changing also. So you can, the Logische ones have red, orange skin, Azerian are taller, and you can either choose to be a male or a female. So your hair changes. And once you create your game, now we can access it since it's bugged. But once you create it, call it again we and test. We choose our race, and we is a guy, so we accept it. We have that nice sort of cutscene with some music, because you know that something bad is happening. The music seems quite heavy. And then when you wake up, you're in your room, and then you realize that something happened. Your wife has been kidnapped. So you have your first tutorial pop-up that goes on and tells you that the lower part of the screen contains all the information, and then you can press Control to scroll down through the text. So for example, Luis is wondering, oh, what happened? And when you see those 3 dots in the left corner, it tells you that there's more text to be read. So press Control, and then oh, my head hurts so much. Where are you, my love? So he's looking for his wife. There's broken glass everywhere. And then realize that, oh, I should look at the security cameras and understand what happened. And then it tells you that you can move with the arrow keys and press space to do actions. So right now, we have some super high technology computer, which is that yellow box there. You can press space to interact with it, and then, oh no, you realize by looking at the cameras that your wife got kidnapped. So you want to find her. I must find her then. Cool. So you move through that door, which leads you to your city hub. So city hub explains that you can go through the different parts of your city and travel to different places. So each city hub is quite the same in each planet. The buildings, each planet has a wild part where you can go hunt down some monster, get some health, get some money, gain experience to level up, and everything. But I'll talk about the level up a little later. Spaceport allows you to travel, so when you go in it, you'll see it later, you can travel through different planets to get to different wilds and continue your quest on searching your wife. The shop allows you to sell your items, buy some new equipment, and make some money, which our money are Titos, because it's the main currency. Tito is like a god in our galaxy, so it's really cool. And in the tavern, you can interact with people to gather information about where your wife might be or who kidnapped her and such. So if we see the screen, this is the screen you'll see more in the game. In the center, it's all the action that's happening. So you saw the character moving a little while ago. You can click things, you can move your character around. The bottom part is where all your information is. So when you sell an item, when you get experience, when you level up, all will show up in the bottom. On the side, you have all your game's information. So it starts by your name, your race, level, and experience. Your level, the experience, you're getting it by killing things. And so each thing you kill gives around 300 experience points. And when you level up, each of your stats goes up accordingly to how your race is built. So for now we can see that Louis is more intelligent, he has more vitality than strength and charisma. So when he level ups, the charisma will not go as high as intelligence. So intelligence might get to 60 points, but charisma just go to 9. So get 2 points instead of 3. Also, you have your height and your weight is really important to the gravity part of the game. So when you move around in the wild, in some wilds you might not even be able to move since the gravity is too strong for you. So you need either to go to another planet or sell stuff or start a game with a new race if you plan to go on a certain planet with high gravity, or buy some equipment to change your reaction to gravity. And yeah, and down here we got the 4 buttons for the game. So the save one allows you to save the game. We create our own save file, which are called .save. The way we made it, we just save an object in it, so it's really hard for player to hack their save game and change values, so their money, their stats, and everything. So that's why we won't be able to show you the ending, since the game is like 3 hours long to do all the quests. But we'll show you in the PowerPoint, but we couldn't change the save file, even if we did create them ourselves, to allow us to go directly to the ending, since the save files are pretty complicated. Here we have your inventory, where you can access all your items. And the questing, when you can see, so here your next step is to go around and ask for help. You don't have any other active quests and you haven't completed any. And if you quit the game, it will bring you back in the main menu, where you can go and load. Our game was called Test and it was Louis' game. So we see it's Louis, it's the game name is Test, and he's level 1 with 0 experience on 1000. Hit accept. We'll load the game back in the main city where we can continue to play. So if we go in the first tavern, just to show you how taverns are, it tells you that you can talk with phones to gather some information. So here you can move around, go and see the tavern keeper. So, hey, hello there. Have you seen my spouse? Is Louis asking the tavern keeper. Well, there are some bandits going around kidnapping people and blah blah blah, so we can talk about it. But that's not enough information. You know she's been kidnapped by some bandits, but that guy over there is this one or the one? What about? Great, we'll go to the one above. So hi you, citizen, I heard a rumor that bandits are visiting Logitus and blah blah blah, so you know that's where you need to go. But before going there, you need some equipment, so you can go back in the city. There's always that city button. Go into the shop. The music will change, yeah. Some people might recognize it, yeah. The tutorial is still here. You can buy things, sell things, and it's quite the basic things you can do in a shop. So on each item, if you click on it, you'll get, as I said, information in the lower part of the screen. So you have your armor, it's some bronze, and it's the 30 Titos. And since we have 50, we can buy it, but we need a sword to attack things. So we'll go for a sword. Yeah, so you can press Control just to see the whole text. Buy it. Then you have the sword. You can equip it to your weapon slot, and then go back to the city, and you're ready to fight.
And if you didn't notice, when you equip all the items, it does change your stats on the side. Like this one, it made your strength go up by 1.
It was 7 in the first time, now it's 8 since it's in bronze. And if we go, I just lost my mouse, here, in the wild, again the music will change. No, it won't change. It doesn't want us to go in the wild yet, so we'll try it again. And it doesn't want anything. So let's try it again with Wii. Go in the wild, yeah, now it worked. So you can kill monsters, kill bandits, and then get items to resell them later. And watch out not to die, since if your HP gets to 0 now, lose at 13, but if it goes to 0, it's gonna die and get back the main stream. So you can move around. Right now lions, which are our main monsters in the game, are not attacking you since you're not close enough for them to chase you. But as soon as you'll get close enough, they'll start chasing you around. Right now they're not that fast, but you can attack them. As you heard here, the sound effect, since our game is in has no animations, but you can hear sound effects. And if you get attacked, as here you've got hit by the monster, you hear your skin getting teared apart, and then you die. So yeah, basically that's it. And if I'm just gonna show you the travel. If you go in the spaceport and tell you, oh, spaceport is meant to allow you to travel to different places. So you say, I understand, and then I want to go to, I think this one is Logitus? Yeah, okay, so here, I'm in Logitus now. I can go in the tavern, and then this one is empty since no one's in Logitus tavern because it's the planet with the bandits and all. So basically on each planet there's always the tavern, the shop, the wild, and you can travel through all the planets and go around, see the different environments and different places with different NPCs.
Okay, so when we talk about the quests, if you go into the quest screen, as you can see, there's the quest looking for help. And as soon as you meet the right person, okay, and talk to them and are able to communicate with them, it will always it will like go to the next thing, and it'll tell you what you should do or what you need to. As you can tell, he did it before, but since we didn't save, now it says maybe someone else knows more information, so you have to go around. And throughout the whole game, pretty much, that's like the main goal of it, is to try to get to the end by like finishing the quests. And as you can see, each time, now it says buy some equipment, so you can't continue the quest unless you do what it tells you. And yeah, so as soon as you like finish this one, you'll go into the completed quest. And at the moment, the active quest area is not like it functions, but because there's only one quest to like start and finish the game, you can't have multiple quests at the same time. But like, we'll explain that later. Yeah, okay, so the quest in general is pretty much, so you lose either your wife or your husband, depending on whether you're a girl or a guy, and then you go and you have to talk to, like, the people, as you can see, everybody that you have to talk to is in the tavern, but you can move on the quests if you go into, like, the wilds or anything like that. So pretty much you have to find the bandits, okay, because you don't know where they are, but you know that they're the ones that took your wife or husband. And so pretty much you just keep going and keep talking to people, and some people even make you do quests for them before even giving you information. So it takes a while to actually get to the end, because it's not just, okay, go here, go here, go here. It's more, I guess you could say, interactive than that. It actually has a story line.
Yeah, and the information is always clear. It's sometimes you have to guess things and try out some different planets and talk to different people to try to get some information. It won't be, oh, this guy exactly there on this planet is the one you need to talk to. It will just tell you, you need to find someone else. It should be on that planet, but sometimes it can be on another planet. It's just, you're trying things.
And that's why when you do talk to the people, you do have to read what they say, because that's where you'll get the clues. Because on this, it won't say, okay, go to villages. It'll say travel to destination. Okay, and so you actually have to listen to what they're saying.
So if we continue, we thought that we couldn't access the ending, but here's the ending screen. So the ending of the game is that you find an old spaceship that brings you back to Earth, and Earth in our solar system, since the bandits are sending slaves on Earth. So you get back to our planet, and then you find your love, and she's happy that you found her, and she thanks you for finding her and completing the game.
And we wanted to put it to Earth so it would seem more realistic, I guess you could say, because the universe is near, like, our universe, the Milky Way.
And in fact, the year when you come to Earth is around the years where the people saw a lot of UFOs and spaceship in the sky when some urban legends were spreading around the Earth.
So our target audience is pretty much anybody who likes just an RPG, just anybody who wants to actually have some fun, even if it's for a couple minutes or anything like that. It's just something to do during the day. People who are interested in kind of like, as you can say, role-playing, so to pretend you're something else and travel to the unknown and get to know different types of things. There's also one of my friends who actually wants to do like a whole political system for our game, which I found funny. And pretty much any age that can read and actually understand what they're reading. So if you give it to a 3-year-old, obviously they're not going to, but so it'd be more like 10 and up and people who actually know what they're doing.
Okay. And then for the future of Across the Universe, we wanted to do a lot of other things. So the first one will be side quests, since right now we only have the main quest, but side quests from merchants that will ask you to gather 10 pelts of monster on this planet or something like that. Better graphics, so improve our drawings, have some animations, and even have some texture pack features, so the files can be easily changed, like in Minecraft or other games. So if people want to create their own texture packs and change how every alien looks, it's easily doable by just switching some images. we wanted to have also the time, so you saw that all the planets were placed in the solar system, but actually they're related to the orbit radius. But right now, the time is always the same, so planets won't move around the sun, but in maybe some later development, we wanted to, we would like to have time so the planets won't always be at the same spot. Sleep hunger and tiredness are also related to time, so if you don't sleep for 36 hours, well, you'll get tired and maybe just die from sleep deprivation. Some more enemies. So right now we have bandits and some kind of alien lions. But to have some more enemies, and by the same way have some more equipment, so some enemies might have some laser guns and things like that, and that the player could also use. But right now we kept it simple and just have some energy swords. The moons, that you can travel on moons and have some special missions on them. Some mini games to gather some more special objects, legendary equipment or such. The reputation part, because we have the charisma statistic, which isn't really used in the game right now, but also we wanted to have some animosity between some races. So if you're a certain race, talk to a certain person, and he dislikes your race, well, you won't get as much information as if you were in the same race as him. And one last thing would be to maybe put it on Steam Greenlight, so that you can get some feedback from the players that tested and put some updates on a daily basis or something like that, just to get other players to play our game and help us improve it by giving us some feedback. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so hello everyone. The name of our game is Journey to the Center of the Earth, and it's a platform game. The way we designed the game, the audience we wanted to play our game was young children and anyone who basically likes physics and likes to see like how physics can apply in certain situations. And yeah, so if you're someone who really likes game like with very good graphics and like high mechanics, like it's not really a game for you. But if you like you're a children who wants to like know more about the world, it's a very good game, because like you know, some games you're gonna play the game and you're gonna like it's gonna be very playable, but our game, like the physics, they're very realistic. So some people, when they tried the game at first, like they didn't like it because they thought it was too hard. For example, because of the physics, for example, when there's the high wind velocity, they would get like they couldn't like move forward if they didn't have momentum, and they didn't like that, because usually in games it's more like based on how you can be good at the game, and it's not about like reality.
So more about the physics, as my partner mentioned, when you first start playing the game, you will notice that the character does not move like other characters. He moves by having forces applied on him as he's kind of a free body. And we used our standard physics formulas like F equals ma, the acceleration and velocity, and we also have friction and drag force, which are implemented. So the first thing that usually happens is when you control the character and the enemies, when they move, they have forces applied, and from that we calculate the acceleration, because all our physics objects have mass. And from there we can calculate how much time has passed. Using that we calculate the acceleration, velocity, and from that we move our character. And because of those kinds of things, we can do projectile motion without having to, you know, hard code in values like move them this direction, this amount of time. So that's neat. Also, when it comes to collisions, we have our collision system differentiates between touching an edge and actually being inside another object. So when we know we're inside another object, we've collided, and we have to move our object outside of it. If we know it's just touching an edge, then we have to apply friction force and normal force in order to not allow the player or any other physics object to fall through the map. We also have a drag force implemented, so that allows us to, for example, our first level is a water level. We can increase for that level we increase the density of the fluid so that would increase the force and it makes it harder for the player to move and all objects in that player. Yeah.
So yeah, the graphics of our game this year is just like a taste of the graphics we did. It's like the most important ones. So we did like a lot of drawing for this project. So for example here, those are the enemies, also there. And we did sprite sheets because in our game we have animations. For example, a simple animation would be, for example, the penguin. This is when he walks. It's not going to be just an image like doing this. He's going to have like a realistic animation. And those objects, like for example this one and this one, they're end of the objects at the end of the level. Because like when you reach the end of the level, you actually, because it's the player is on a quest, so when he needs to get objects to continue his quest. So when he gets an object, he's going to be able to go to the other level. And then those are our pickups. Yeah, those here, if you're wondering, it's the spreadsheets we did for when we designed the map, because those are the game objects that the character is going to be able to step on, and that are going to be collisions. They're going to be collisions.
Yeah, so the way to make our levels, we tiled them using these tiles, and that allowed us to make much larger levels that span off the screen, and allows us to make different shapes for levels. Instead of just squares or rectangles, we can have corner pieces and have some pieces. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the level 1, as Amin already said, it's in the water, because it's the start of his quest, and he needs, since it's a journey to the center of the earth, the first part is the player is just on a vacation, and then he sees a bottle in the ocean, so he will have to go through the ocean to retrieve the bottle. And in the ocean, this is the background, and he's gonna have to survive, and there are gonna be monsters that are going to try to kill him. First, there's the octopus, the squids, and the monsters, and yeah. So yeah, basically that's it. And the fluid density is gonna be very high, so you're gonna see the player is gonna move more slowly when he is displacing or something.
So this is the snow level. Here we implemented ice. So when you're stepping on the ice, you have there's no friction force, so you'll keep moving. You won't be able to. You'll be able to stop by moving the opposite direction, but if you let go of the keys, you will not. You will just keep sliding. We also have falling icicles, which uses the same thing as the player. So it has a force applied to it, and it sort of lets gravity let itself fall, and when it collides to the player, it damages.
Yeah, this is the cave level. So in this level, you're gonna see in the game, but the player has like a little. All the screen is gonna be black except a little round around it, like a spotlight, and he's gonna be able to pick flashlights in the level to increase the spotlight. And yeah, if he doesn't pick the spotlights, he's gonna be in trouble because he's not gonna be able to see anything. And yeah, the monsters in this level is cave bats. There are snakes, and yeah, this is the first level where there are enemies that actually throw projectiles. So the snake throws venom, and this venom flies in projectile motion, and if it's her character, it's gonna damage him. And also there's gonna be stalactites for falling from the ceiling.
This is the lava level. Here there's actually liquid lava on the ground, and we use some nice effects to make it look like it's flowing. And there's also fireballs that come out of this, like in Mario, that we apply force, just like everything else in the game. Same for the rocks that come and fall and hit you. There's also lava golem enemies.
This one is the last level, the jungle level. So yeah, in this level, it's like you really have to dodge a lot of stuff, because all the enemies in this level, they shoot stuff at you. So you have archers that shoot arrows. You have monkeys that throw bananas. And yeah, at the end of the level, it's because this is the end of the level, and the quest was to find the treasure at the center of the earth. There's going to be like a chest, and the player will have won the game.
So sources, because we're not sound engineers or anything like that, we have to go find our sound. We found all our music on No Soap Radio, and we also, for the sound effects, freesound.org. Also, 2 backgrounds we got from a site is for pixel artists, and they upload it, and it's free to use for anyone who wants to download the things.
Those were the cave background and the water background.
Yeah. So now we're going to play the game.
Oh, that's why it's not playing on the laptop. Okay. Well, yeah, and also about a game, you don't need to have a mouse to play it because it's even the menus we control with the keys. So if you just play with a laptop and you just have a mouse pad, it doesn't matter.
All right, so we're gonna open the game. Turn the sound up. Turn the sound on the computer on. Turn the sound.
Right click on that.
Turn the sound up. So yeah, so this is the main menu. We have our main character Turk here walking on planet Earth. Here's our menus. We can go into options. We can turn the sound off and turn it back on. You can exit the game if you want. Here we go play. We can do load game or new game. Here if we load game, we're going to load into our game we played before, but
the score is already good.
Yeah, saves your score as well. There we're going to play a new game. Here, when it's the first time you play, it gives you a screen where you can test out the controls. Here Turk has a jetpack throughout the game. So I'm going to let my partner play through the first level.
Okay, so yeah, as I said, here, as you can see, if I move, he moves very slowly because we didn't just say, like, for example, the player just displaced and we increment less displacement. It's just because there's the same force applied to the player as normally, but because he's in a water element, he's gonna move slowly because the density is higher, and this goes into the calculations, and he's gonna move slower. So this is the first enemy. As you can see, because as we said, we want children to play this game. It's more about like improving their reflexes, but we don't want like the enemies to be like too intelligent. And so what they do is when they detect that they're colliding with an object, they're gonna reverse their position because it's like in real life if they were stomping on a wall. And if I hit there's gonna be a knockback, and I'm invulnerable for a certain amount of time. So this is just to give you a chance. And yeah, so in this level. So all those objects that you can see, like the rocks, for example, this is all the objects that we're gonna say later. But how we designed the map, it's with a map editor. But that's what detects the collision with the player and the enemies, and they're different for each level because it's different environments.
Yeah, so as you can see, this level we wanted to make it kind of an easy start, but kind of a little bit more challenge to the level design. So we made it so it's kind of a puzzle. As you saw, there's some paths that are actually blocked, so you actually have to find another way around.
And yeah, so if you can see, like, this game is like, there's not like eye mechanics that you need to have. It's just reflexes and like to have a certain amount of intelligence. Because like, if for example you see the octopus and you just like go through it, you're gonna get damaged. But if you can just wait, and like the children can just say that and say, oh, he's gonna go down, and then I'm gonna have time to go there.
So as you saw, he picked up a health pack and actually healed him. Throughout the game, your player has 3 hearts of health. And also the score increased when he picked up a health pack. The score also increases when you beat a level and also when you beat the game, because you can replay the game after.
So yeah, this is the final stretch of the level. It's gonna be the monsters that come out of the abyss, because we're at the bottom of the ocean right now. So yeah, you just have to wait and take your time. And also the enemies have different damage. Like at the beginning, I don't know if you noticed, but the squids only add 1 damage. So when they hit you, you only lose half a heart. But those ones, if I hit him, he's gonna make me lose 1, as you can see. And this is the end of the level object. So Turk completed the first mission of his quest, which is he found the bottle with the map inside, and in this map it's gonna tell him about the path he needs to take in order to get the treasure.
So I'm gonna play the next level.
So yeah, you can see your score when you when you beat a level. It's you get 1,000 score, and when you pick a pickup, it's 100. So we picked 2 L packs, and we beat the level, so we're at 1,200.
So here's the snow level. As you can see, ice, if I let go, I just fall to my death. Here we also, in this level, we have penguins, so if I get hit by them, take half a heart.
And yeah, the fuel here, you can see he has a maximum amount of
This
fuel.
is the first level that when you get depleted, you deplete health pack. Here, as you can see, there's the blizzard. So what happens when there's a blizzard, it makes the screen white, so it's more difficult to see where the platforms are. And also, there's actually a wind force being applied to you. So if you don't have enough momentum, you won't be able to move forward.
And most players had a hard time at the beginning because they don't have momentum, and like they just like can't move. But if you run and with momentum you like this, for example.
And as you saw, the penguin went flying in the blizzard as well. So here is where we introduce the falling icicles. So you can sort of see them, but if I get hit by them, I take a full heart of damage, so you kind of have to be careful. As you see, they fall because of gravity, and when they hit anything, they shatter. So I'm going to take it nice and slow and steady, not die. Here we go. The end of the snow level, and he moves on to the cave.
Yeah, so as you can see, at the end he went through like sort of a cave, and that's because there's another level. And we didn't show you, but if you
it's kind of dark on the projector, you can see better on the TV.
If you die, you just start back at the beginning of the level. So yeah. So as you can see, there's dark around the player, and so he has reduced vision, and so he needs to pick up flashlights in order to see.
There's that in this level.
And yeah, I forgot to say it in the PowerPoint, but in this level, in certain areas, we flip the gravity. So that's, the gravity is reversed. Instead of bringing you down, it's bringing you up. That's just for fun.
Also, when the gravity slipped, you can also jump and use your jetpack.
Same thing. It's just weird. And yeah, this is the first enemy that throws projectiles. It's small, but you can see it throws like green stuff.
Yeah, green spit. Don't get it in your eyes.
And like if I get hit, I get it. And also if I go on him. So yeah, this is the stalactites. So like right now, I'm just gonna give myself, this is just for the presentation, you can give yourself this, because I'm just gonna play like, for example, someone who never played the game would play this, he would just like move forward and die because he's bad and he never played. So you probably will die first when you do this, and then you will know how to do it. So then here's the entrance.
Moves on to the lava level. As you notice that Turk, he's following the map, and you know he goes deeper and deeper into the earth. And here we had the kind of style like in the movie, The Journey to the Center of the Earth, where the core of the earth is actually full of life and nature. So here is the lava level. Here's, like I said, the lava. As you can see, it flows. If I fall into the lava, I instantly die, because lava hurts. So here is the fireballs. You have to. They have a little bit of randomness to that. The golem too. They don't always jump in the same sequence. So here we have the golem. So if I get hit by him,
I get knocked back, and I lose a whole heart.
Yeah, in the game also the enemies, as you can see, they have like different characteristics. So this one like he's fat, so he moves very slowly. But when he hits you, like you lose a full heart because he's massive. So also brace your bones.
He moves a lot slower. He has about the same speed as the penguin when we were applying a force. But the reason he moves slower is because he has a lot more mass.
So this is like when we say that it's realistic, it's things like that. Like
if you don't realize, the ceiling's lower, so players may try to rush through this as they did at the beginning, but they may not realize they can't actually jump over the fireballs now. So here I'm bad, so I got hit by it. So here we're going to get introduced to the falling rocks, and you'll probably get hit by it if you're not ready, like me. You know, I'm going to give myself health before I die. Yeah. The rocks take a whole heart of damage off. That's normal. That's what people don't cheat. Here we're at the final stretch. And here, we're moving on to the final level, jungle level.
So this is the
we have the monkeys throwing the bananas. Fun fact, banana is the first thing we drew. As you may have noticed, in two of the backgrounds, we actually have looping clouds. We also use that same looping effect in order to do the lava in the water. So here we're at the end, and we find the treasure that Turk was looking for.
Yeah, so here you really need to be careful because like some people just see the treasure and they want to win. But if you get hit by one banana, you're just gonna get hit forever.
Yeah, the monkeys will like bully you so you lose all your health. And here's the ending screen. And then when you hit enter, you can return back to the map screen and you can replay any of the levels. And you can continue increasing your score if you like.
So if, for example, we close the game.
And reopen it.
Yeah, and reopen.
You get a nice splash screen again. A nice title screen. And you go and load the game. See? We have all the levels.
All the levels are unlocked because we already played them, and you can just play them again and increase your score as many times as you want before you hit new game to start again.
This is our old save file.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we're going to show you how we made the levels. We're going to show you the level editor. So we made, early on during the development of the game, we realized it's going to be pretty difficult to hard code all the values for all the tiles, so we decided to make a little map editor. And here I can show you, I can resize it to any size. The size is in game units, which is, one game unit is considered like a meter in our physics. So here, as you can see, I can place tiles. I can, select other ones. I can select this nice water tile. Here, I can delete them by right-clicking.
You have the position where you're at. So yeah, at first we didn't have that, but in version 1.1, we added that, so it's easier to.
Deleting was added in 1.1 as well. And here you can also delete them from here. You can scroll down the list and select them and delete them. Here there was 2 tiles there. Yeah.
Can you run it?
Yes, I can run it.
So here I can go. You can also load levels. So where is it on?
It's a desktop. Really workspace. Personal project.
Where? Ah. Here, so you can go load one of our levels that we made. We can show you the water level, or the jungle,
Lava. Jungle.
Lava or jungle?
Lava.
I heard lava. It's my favorite. And it didn't open for some reason. That's weird. But this was never intended to be a feature in the game. It's just for us to make the levels. It obviously worked, but something went wrong. I mean, we made all the levels using it. I think it's an older version. Yeah, you don't have to.
No, that's it.
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's see that one. So as you can see, you can scroll through the levels. You can see how we made the levels.
So that's why we did that, because as you can see that there's a lot of game objects that we did, and many some of the games it's just like a little screen like this big with like a square, and so you don't really need to do an editor for that, because you can just put the colliders at the good spot. But ours, it's the way we read the file. It's the way it reads the file. It's gonna add the collider to each object in the loop. So it's way easier to do big levels. And also some of our tiles, the way we, for example, in the water level at first, when I played it, the game runs at 60 FPS, but when we played it and I finished my level, it would run at like 8 FPS, because we had like 2,000 game objects that would detect the collisions, and we made it so that some of the tiles they're not collidable. So when the player is moving, it's our program is not going to detect the collision with those objects, and it improves the performance very well, and so that's why it didn't lag at the water level.
Yeah, this customer never sees this. It's unimplemented feature. Thank you.
So, hi, my name is Kevin Matthew, and
I'm Charles Phillip.
We're going to present Tito Escape the Zoo. Yeah. So, yeah, our game is a game of physics, and our target audience is mainly for high school and CGIP students, because they're people that are doing their physics courses. So basically, it's to help them visualize how physics works, how mechanics works. But ultimately, everyone can play this game because it's basic physics. So everyone knows that if you let an object drop on the floor, it's going to drop to the floor. It's not going to go up to the ceiling. So everybody knows that. So practically everybody can play Tito. So yeah. So the features, as I told you, we have realistic physics, which we are going to talk a little bit more when we're going to present the game. We also have a save system, so when you actually leave the game and you come back, well, it's like you can continue your progress. And what is interesting, we also have a star system, which we're also going to demonstrate a little bit further in the presentation. The star system is basically it's based on the time you take to complete the levels. So you can do the levels again and again and try to find better ways to do the levels and do them faster in order to get all the stars. So it's really interesting because the game is replayable and you still have a challenge. So that's what makes it fun. So why did we decide to do Tito Escapes the Zoo? Well, basically because it's a fun and immersive game. So as I told, everybody can play it. Also, it's challenging and puzzling. What is interesting about that is since it's physics and you can drag objects around, well, there's multiple ways you can do the levels. So So you can retry the levels multiple times, and you won't have the same solution both times. So that's what's interesting, is that you can test and have fun with the physics and actually try stuff which normally you wouldn't think of that could work in the real life. So basically that's what stimulates the creativity, because you have to use your logic in order to complete the levels. So yeah, I don't know.
That's an example for Tito, how he rolls up in a ball. Yeah, that's just for fun. Because, yeah, you know, the example for the game.
So as a disclaimer, the Mac is running on beta, so sometimes the game's lagged. But it's not the game, it's actually Mac that lags.
Alright, so the sound.
Yeah, so all the sounds come from freesound.org. So the music and the sound that you're going to hear in the levels all come from there.
Yeah, so the story goes as you play Tito. Tito is recently found out that he has powers, so he wants to escape the zoo using his powers. Yeah, so Tito basically is in his cage first, and with his mind he moves objects into a trash can and connects ropes to pulleys. Well, that's pretty funny, isn't it? Yeah, so he puts objects in trash cans in order to increase their weight, so he can break the ropes and make him escape the zoo eventually. Yeah. Like this. And yeah, there's planes too, like he can move planes and place them at logical places in order to jump or get farther.
So this is Tito's special ability. He can make planes levitate in order to help him escape the levels.
Yeah, so this is Jason Gerard. He's the zookeeper and he doesn't want Tito to escape because Tito is good money for the zoo. So every time Tito hits him, well, he's gonna bring him back. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, we already started the level, so we can start a new game.
So basically all it says is that it's going to erase the old save file, and it's going to plot all the levels, so we just have the first level. So basically we're creating a new game.
Alright. So here, there's a rope.
So yeah, Tito's here and he wants to go past Gerard on your right of the screen. So what you have to do is use the seesaw and all the objects that you have, which Charles Lee is going to demonstrate.
Yeah, so the first levels are easy because you want to present the game. So you have to take all the objects, put it on the rope, and press the play button. And then Tito escapes.
So basically what happened is that by placing all the objects in the trash cans, the weight of the trash can was too heavy for the string, which when we pressed play, the rope broke, and then it fell onto the seesaw, and Tito got projected over Gerard and the house that we saw.
So here is a good example of Tito bouncing on a plane, which was hard to do. Oh. So yeah, this level can be hard sometimes if you don't know how to do it, because Jason is malicious.
This level is pretty basic. It's also to introduce players to the planes. So basically all you have to do is block the hole so Tito doesn't fall in the hole. So he can pass up.
Yeah, so all the levels are basic. It's an introduction and we plan to do more levels and maybe a sequel.
Maybe show a couple of times where you failed.
Yeah, so here, if for some reason you want to attach the rope there, well, there's no point to do it. Yeah, so that's an example of my night lab game.
So as you saw, Tito got to the feet of Gerard. I don't know if you heard it, but he said no, 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 and Tito got back to the beginning.
Yeah, so here we can put trash cans on planes that can be useful eventually.
So yeah, as you saw in this level, this doesn't work because it's not the solution for that one.
And if the weight is too small, then
the rope's not going to break.
Yeah.
You have to put everything in the trash can to increase its weight enough so the rope breaks.
Yeah, and since we're using physics with energy, if we put the trash can lower, then it won't have enough energy to make Tito bounce, or it's gonna fall too soon, so Tito won't be able to bounce off. So let's do it properly.
So that level was a bit of timing because you had to place the trash can high enough so Tito had time to roll on the end of the seesaw. So that one is similar, but Tito is starting with he's not on the ground, so he's going to have a velocity towards the ground and towards the seesaw.
So if you want to put it there, well, it's useless.
That one's a catch because the players are accustomed to putting the ropes on the pulleys, but on that level you have to use the roof of the house. And then again, it's timing. If you don't place the trash can high enough on the house, it's not going to have enough velocity to go on the seesaw.
And here again, if you don't put every object, then Tito won't be able to jump.
Yeah. So as you saw, he forgot to put the trash can that's in the house. So that one's it's a little bit harder because you have to see that there's a trash can in the house. So that level here, we have a plane that we can move. But actually, this one is also a catch because the plane is actually placed quite correctly. So if you move it, you place it wherever you want. Tito doesn't have a velocity in X, sorry, so he's not going to go forward. You have to leave the plane here.
So the reason the pause menu pops up every time is because when Tito doesn't escape the zoo or doesn't touch Jason, then we have to find a way to stop the game, because every time, if you don't, then Tito is going to roll up into infinity and you just have to press restart. With that, then the user knows that it's not the right way to do a level.
Yeah. So after like 3 seconds or so, after you press play, the menu is going to pop up, so you know you didn't do it correctly and you have to restart again. So that one is pretty basic, but again, it's to practice the physics with the player. We know that when we let two objects fall from the same height, they're going to fall on the ground at the same time. So basically, in that level, if you didn't place the trash can the same height as Tito, they wouldn't fall at the same time on the. Yeah, you can try it out. They wouldn't fall at the same time on the seesaw, so it won't work because the timing's not going to be good. There you go. So that again is to demonstrate the physics in the game.
So the 10th level, the final level, is when Tito escapes the zoo, finally. And it can be quite challenging sometimes, because you want to put it there to block Tito from Jason. But what happens is Tito goes underneath the plane, so you want to put it here. But then Tito bounces on the plane and bounces on Jason, actually. So you have to work with that and find a way to place the plane correctly. maybe closer.
Got hit the Gerard's head. This level is a great example of how we can solve the level in multiple ways. We actually had a player do this level, and he found a way to do it that we didn't even think of. So yeah, maybe we'll show it after. So there you go.
So that's the basic way.
That one was the original way with the plane in the middle. But the player, I don't know if you want to demonstrate it.
Yeah, maybe Philip can.
Sure. Yeah, maybe Philip can.
Show my technique.
Oh. So yeah, when he did that at first, I was, no, that's not gonna work, but it did work.
Sometimes. Oh no.
Yeah, so there you go. Thank you. Thank you, Philip. Yeah, so and as we saw, we have a little screen that tells us that we have completed the game, that Tito has successfully escaped the zoo. So yeah, well, that's what's interesting about the game. So did you have anything else to add?
Well, no.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.